finally get a look at the balloon tour in Jurassic World Evolution 3. This new footage for Jurassic World Evolution 3 was shared via Games Radar, and I squealed when I saw it. I'm so happy we are getting a look at this new attraction. I've spent the past hour scouring the background for hidden details, and I've been monitoring the community's reaction in my comment section and on social media. In this video, I'll be pointing out some details that you might have missed, some extra information from the Games Radar article, and we have a mystery dinosaur we need to identify. But I'll also be busting 2 myths. Before we do, just a reminder that on top of this balloon tour footage, we also got the Patago Titan showcase today. So you can check out the full breakdown of that on the channel and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any news this week, as Frontier will be participating in the GameStar and Gamescom showcases on Wednesday and Thursday. So we have a lot more news coming our way. The balloon tour footage gives us the best look at the Jurassic World style of the attraction building, but we also have a Jurassic Park style building. We can see that in the corner right here with the 2 selection options, and we also get a slightly better look at that Jurassic Park style building a little later on in the video. Now, as for the laying of the tour track, which comes a little bit later, that's actually indicated with the wind icon, so that's pretty funny. We can control the wind. We are airbenders. But yeah, I think it's, it speaks for itself. We can lay this track down on top of anything. It doesn't seem to matter. I wish we could have seen whether it can cross over the monorail and the power lines. I foresee that could potentially be an issue. That could give like an error that you're not able to cross over those, but anything else is not giving any sort of obstruction. We can just place that freely throughout our parks, which makes sense, of course. Nothing on the ground should obstruct our balloon tour. Of course, going back to the 2 different building styles that are available, we can also customize these with the modular building tools, and what is built into Jurassic World Evolution 3 is the option to access community creations. So that's people's custom versions of a building or a decoration uploaded on the Frontier Workshop, and the most popular ones just appear in our game for us to access directly. The Games Radar article mentions that the balloons will feature various Jurassic World and Jurassic Park skins. I'm not quite sure what their definition of the word various is. I think in the footage that we're seeing, we're only seeing 2 types, the blue Jurassic World balloon and the yellow Jurassic Park balloon. I would be hesitant to believe that we get more colors than that, but I certainly hope that we do. The reason I'm hesitant to believe that is because, we don't see anything else, any other colors in this particular footage. Now, before we go back to that footage, I want to touch on something that is mentioned a lot in this article, and it's the first myth I want to bust. This article keeps mentioning a kayak. They're talking about how dangerous a balloon tour would be in a Jurassic World and Jurassic Park, for obvious reasons. The flying Pterosaurs might escape, pop the balloon, and that would be very dangerous. And they keep referencing that the only thing that might be more dangerous is a kayak in the Mosasaurus Lagoon. I want to get ahead of the excitement that I'm seeing on Reddit and in my community, in my comment section as well. People are taking this as confirmation that we'll have a kayak tour that will be able to access the lagoons. I don't think that's the case. They literally use the word theoretically. They're theoretically talking about what could be an even more dangerous attraction than a hot air balloon, and their theory is that a kayak in the Mosasaurus Lagoon would be even more dangerous. I would not consider this confirmation of a kayak tour or any other sort of boat tour. Now, obviously, a boat tour is exactly what we are hoping to see, and I actually think there's a really, really high chance that we will see a boat tour, because that was hinted on in a slightly vague text on the Jurassic World Evolution 3 official website. So while I do believe that we have that attraction coming, I want to advise caution to people that this text, this joke, is not confirmation of that. So I'm not saying we won't get a boat tour, I'm just saying this text doesn't confirm it. Now, to go back about what I said about the balloon tour being a dangerous thing in a park where potentially giant flying reptiles can escape, I want to nip something in the bud right away, and that is that it is said in this Games Radar article as well, we don't know yet if the flying reptiles will attack the balloons. Editing Evo here, Games Radar just posted a correction to the article stating in no uncertain terms that pterosaurs will not attack the balloons. The balloons can't be attacked, so we can put that to bed right away. Is this the disappointing answer of the two? Yes, it is. I will, however, say I'm just glad that we know up front and we don't need to keep speculating about it. And I've said this before in a video, there's certain questions I just want answered. And even though we're hoping for the good answer, even if the answer is bad, I just want to know. Now, in this shot, there are two things that we need to talk about. First of all, I want to talk about these like white inlays in the path. I'm guessing that this is just like a flat placeable object that we can sink into the path to give it a bit of design, and that's really gonna elevate the path art that I've been doing since Jurassic World Evolution 1. So that's really fun, and I really think just looking at this right here, how much that adds to just how pretty and decorated paths can be. Unfortunately, and that is the second point, it still appears that the path tool itself very much works the same way as it does in Jurassic World Evolution 2 and honestly Jurassic World Evolution 1. And I want to touch on this bridge that we're seeing right here. And that's the second myth I want to bust. So I saw this also on Reddit. I even saw someone comment, "Oh, Evo is gonna be so excited. There's a bridge." Yeah, we've actually seen bridges before. We've seen two different types of bridges. We've seen the decorative Japanese bridge. At least I'm assuming it's decorative. We've seen the red Japanese bridge in the aviary, and we've seen in the feature focus for the terrain tools, we saw like an elevated walkway crossing over water to connect to what looks like some sort of resort style building. And this is the third version of a bridge that we're seeing. The thing is, we're not seeing guests use these. We know with modular building, we can build whatever we want, right? As soon as they said modular building, we knew we can build bridges. The thing is, are the bridges going to be functional? That is the question. And unfortunately, this footage does not imply in any way that this bridge is functional. We don't see any guests using it. Now, granted, I will say, we don't see a whole lot of guests. Actually, in this particular shot, we don't see any guests. So, you know, it's very possible that this bridge is usable by guests. But the point is, we don't actually see them use it. So, as of yet, there is still no evidence that suggests that bridges can be made to be functional, made to be used by guests. And that is the question I really need answered, and that is the big thing that I want. Look, it's already a great step forward that we can build bridges with the modular tools. Like, the dream is for them to be functional, and if we see any evidence of the sort, I will bring you that news right away. Unfortunately, today is not that day. It's funny that the Patago Titan appears several times in this video because, of course, today they also dropped the Patago Titan Dinosaur Showcase. Again, if you've missed that, because I did upload two things in short succession, if you've missed my breakdown of the Patago Titan Showcase, do check that out on the channel. I think there's more to the showcase than people realize. There was quite a lot that we could still talk about. I really have to praise Frontier for how beautiful, absolutely beautiful the game looks. And for this specifically, like seeing this balloon just peacefully float above our parks, it's really gonna add a wow factor. It's gonna add something whimsical, if that makes sense. I feel like it's very whimsical to see like these balloons floating around our parks. And also, it's like this big visual thing. Usually, you know, when we're building our parks, we're in God mode. So when we zoom out, you know, you might see like the tiny versions of your dinosaurs moving about, but there's not a whole lot of activity, movement in the park that you can see from that bird's eye view that we usually have. But these balloons we will be able to see just, floating through our parks. And I think it's so, so lovely. All right, so this is a perspective shot from the basket underneath the hot air balloon. So this is how we will also be able to ride this new attraction. But what I want to talk about in this shot is what's happening on the ground, and not even the sexy, sexy waterfall with accompanying sexy rocks, but it's about the natural path. Now, we already knew natural path was a thing. If the natural path surprises you, then you might be new to the channel, because we did cover this previously. But yeah, they already confirmed that we have natural path, but this is our first, proper look at the natural path. And what's really striking to me is how it gives a completely different look to the standard paths that we're used to. It's really giving off a very different vibe, and seeing this really made me realize the added value of having natural paths. Also, these buildings here appear to be viewing galleries with a themed facade in front of it. So this is the chalet style facade in front of it, which I think is really cool. Alright, now the footage has shifted over to a desert park, and in this one shot alone, there's 3 things that we could talk about. Well, actually 4. Obviously, let's appreciate the yellow Jurassic Park themed balloon. And it also, just at the bottom corner here, we see the building that goes with it. There's 2 other things though. The first one is this statue here of a very, very stout animal. It's impossible for me to identify, but let me know in a comment down below if you have any guesses for what this statue might be. Some other things that we're seeing is the return of the "When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth" banner. That's pretty cool. And we have the semicircular wall pieces as well. Just some decorative items from Jurassic World Evolution 2 returning to Jurassic World Evolution 3. And that's always nice to have confirmed, to see that we are getting back these great pieces from the previous game. The other thing we need to talk about is the mystery dinosaur, and that's in the far left. And I think it could go 2 ways, and I've seen this on Reddit, so shout out to the person who actually spotted this, very eagle-eyed. But there is a dinosaur right here, and the theory is that it could be Utaranus, and I agree, it could be Utaranus. It could also just be Utahraptor, which obviously we've already seen before. I want to believe that it's Utaranus. I do think it looks big enough to be Utaranus, but at the same time, I think it's just Utahraptor. And the reason I think that is because of the skin. Now, it's so small that a lot of the detail is completely lost. But when I think about the Utaranus skins and the Utahraptor skins that we've already seen, this just seems to match the blue male Utahraptor quite well. I definitely don't want to definitively just brush it off as a Utahraptor. Again, I'd love it if this was a sneaky Utaranus reveal, but it's so blurry, so small, that I really can't confidently identify it as such, but I did want to share it with you. And again, let me know in a comment down below what you think this could be, which species. I especially love the nighttime shots of the balloon just floating over the park, because you see the light up effect of the fire, and again, it's just magical. I absolutely love this. And of course, it's a nice callback to Jurassic Park Operation Genesis that I think a lot of fans of that game are going to be really happy to see Frontier take inspiration from that and implement it in Jurassic World Evolution 3. Oh, I think this is another view of the statue. Oh, it definitely is, because it's flanked by the murals. I would say it could be, obviously it's a big theropod, let's get that out of the way. That was clear. I think it might be Indominus Rex, but could also just be T-Rex, could be a theropod that we haven't seen revealed yet. I don't know, I'd really love to hear you guys' speculations, so comment those in a, well, comments down below. As you can tell, this video is unscripted, but I appreciate you hanging out with me for this video. Share your thoughts and theories in the comments, and please do subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date on all of the news coming this week. It's gonna be an exciting week. Alright, thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and until next time, stay tuned for more.